And I'm Tom Crespo. The officers are expected to be honored next week at the Capitol in Oklahoma City for their bravery last month. Investigators say 19-year-old Henry Jackson was shot and killed on January 16th as he tried to elude law enforcement officers from several agencies. Well, the manhunt started after police say Jackson killed one person and wounded 3 others, including 2 ATF agents, during a 24-hour shooting spree. It all ended after Jackson fired at 3 Ardmore police officers still in their patrol car, and they fired back.
Dash cam video taken during last month's shootout, along with dispatch recordings made during the exchange, show the harrowing ordeal the officers faced as they tried to stop a suspected killer while protecting each other. Tonight we have more from our exclusive interview with all 3 officers as they recall the dramatic events of that night.
I never would have thought he would just started shooting at us when he did, and you know, we couldn't even activate our overhead lights or anything before he just started shooting at us. So you know, it was a crazy deal.
Most police officers train their entire career for the worst case scenario, and thankfully many never see that day. But on the night of January 16th, Ardmore police officers Captain Eric Hamblin, Chris Mata, and Juan Galicia found themselves in the middle of a life or death shootout almost before they knew it.
As soon as I turned my spotlight on, he started shooting at us.
7th, and he's shooting.
I remember seeing flashes, and I remember my windshield getting hit, and I remember glass flying, and I remember seeing him and him shooting at us. And then I remember some events, you know, moving around and things, but it was all so fast, it's a blur.
The officers moved quickly to return fire, but in the beginning, they say the suspect seemed to have the upper hand.
He started firing at us, and I actually seen one round come right in the middle of the windshield and hit right there.
The ordeal may have been most terrifying for Officer Mata, who was riding in the back seat of Captain Hamblin's patrol car. When the shooting started, Hamblin and Galicia jumped out to return fire. Mata was locked in the back seat and couldn't go anywhere.
So what was that like for you, being stuck back there while all of this was happening?
I was miserable. I couldn't get out. I wanted to get out and help my guys, knowing what was going on, knowing that shots were being fired, and I wanted to get out and help them, but you know, couldn't get out due to the full cage in the car, and then the doors, when of course they don't unlock from the inside. So.
All 3 officers have kids, something that was definitely on their minds.
Yes, it was. You know, I want to go home every night at the end of my shift, or anytime we get called out, I want to go home at the end of it. And I was determined to go home.
They're young, got little babies at home, and that was one of my primary concerns when all this started was that, you know, I got to get those guys home. That's, I'm a supervisor, that's kind of our job, is to make sure they get home and get home safe.
Ardmore Police Chief Ken Grace had been the chief for less than 2 weeks. He says he's proud of the way his officers responded in the face of danger.
Heck of a way to start off, but after seeing the way everyone reacted, I'm very proud of this police department. There is a tremendous amount of good people here, good officers, and very well-trained officers. I don't know how a chief could be more proud than the way it was handled.
And while the officers admit that day was anything but routine, they say they were just doing the job they were trained to do.
We did what we had to do to take into custody an obviously dangerous person. And I think we did our job. I think we did it well. I don't know that we would have done a whole lot different.
You know, that's what we're trained to do. That's why I strap this uniform on every day. This is what we're here to do, to protect and serve, and you know, I do it every day. I never would have.
After an investigation into the shooting, the officers were cleared of any wrongdoing. Carter County District Attorney Craig Ladd called their actions that night nothing short of heroic.